What's up, everybody? Hope you are doing fantastic today. Welcome to episode 17 of the Reply Line. So happy to have you here. If you're not catching this live, hey, maybe you should have your notifications enabled so that you can get in here and catch one of these things live and hang out with me and have a good time. So what are we going to be talking about? What's the good time going to be today? Let's see, we're going to talk a little bit about some updates. I guess the main little kind of update slash recent thing that's happening is, okay, it's about getting time for Rockadoc right over here. Yes, Rockadoc registration just opened yesterday, and that is fantastic. We're also going to talk about the next adventure that I have planned, and then we're going to go into a few questions, maybe something a little bit about the cleanliness and safety of drinking spring water and my opinion on it, and then we're going to talk a little bit about bike packing, question about that, and then we're going to go into our live audience here, you folks who are here live, and we're going to answer some of your questions. And you folks who are here live, don't forget, I'm going to ask a question. If you could start that your little chat with a question mark, then I'll know when I come back to it, okay, there's a question mark, that's a question. That would help a lot. But yeah, like I said, you folks, if you have not already, be sure you have the, here we go, got it, the bell hit so that you are notified whenever I do go live and things like that, whenever I upload a new video and when I go live when I'm on an adventure, because you don't want to miss those, because those are really good, usually kind of good. I don't know, I think I have fun doing them. All right, so what are we going to be talking about today? Well, Rockadoc. All right, Rockadoc is it's September 30th through October 4th, which is a little over 3 months away. I'm totally excited. There's a lot of buzz and stuff around the Rockadoc Facebook group. I'm so happy to see all that. Everyone's so excited. And if you guys are part of that Facebook group, then you know that I have a lot of new things planned this year. A lot of things that I'm trying to roll into Rockadoc and just to improve the overall attendee experience. You know, that's my goal. That was my goal with starting Rockadoc, is to create an event that I want to go to. Just like my goal was when I made videos. I want to make a video that I wanted to enjoy watching, that I would enjoy watching, right? The one that I wanted to see. Well, that's what Rockadoc is. The same thing. It's an event that I want to go to with things happening there that I want to be part of, that I would want if I were going to an event. So we're going to be bringing things this year, like we're going to do the potluck again. That was awesome. We are going to kind of feed everybody a dessert. We're going to have, haven't really even announced this yet, but we are going to have a banana pudding bar one night. Yeah, so after everyone eats at their campsites or whatnot, come over to the Oasis, as we're calling things, and we're going to have free banana splits for everybody, right? You make your own banana split, sort of. That's going to be real fun. Then we're having these map bandanas made. I meant to have a photo of that ready to show you folks, but it's basically a bandana with a map of the venue is going to be on it, and everyone is going to be getting one of those for free with their registration when they arrive, along with a t-shirt, along with a sticker, and maybe some other swag things as well. And something else fun I kind of switched up is, I wanted to name the roads and the little areas of the campground this year. So we named some of the roads. There's like really only 2 roads. We named them Walk This Way is one of them. We kind of went with a music theme for all this. And then Copperhead Road. Then we have some different campgrounds are named, like Hangster's Paradise, the area that's real good for hammocks. Or we have Fat Bottom, or what are some other good ones? Low Places. We have just a lot of really fun names for stuff that are, that I think will just make the overall experience fun when we're walking around, talking to everybody, making friends. It kind of be fun saying, hey, where are you staying? Oh, we're over at Hangster's Paradise. Oh, come see us in low places. You got friends in low places, right? So it's kind of fun stuff like that I want to include into it. And I have some other ideas as well that I'm trying to implement that will not only make it more fun, but make it more convenient for everyone. I want to just provide more for the folks so that everything's easier for you when you get there, right? All right, so if you haven't thought about coming to Rockadoc, think about it. And registration opens for everyone this coming Sunday, which is going to be awesome. Registration opened yesterday evening for all current patrons, and let me say, thank you, patrons. Wow, you guys, we on the first day of registrations this year versus last year, we had more than 2 times as many people, twice as many people registered the first day this year than last year. Too cool. All right, so that's awesome. I'm really looking forward to that. All right, so now into the topics of this actual video. So the next adventure trip, where are you going next? And when are you going? Well, I'm going to be going, today is Monday. I'm going to be leaving on Wednesday morning for the next adventure. Now, typically, or what I had planned originally for this time right now is I would be I would probably have arrived or be arriving in Denver, Colorado right now if Outdoor Retailer didn't get canceled, but it did, so had to nix that. And so I was like, okay, what am I going to do this week? I have all this time off. So my first idea was to go down the Withlacoochee River on my paddleboard and check out the springs and stuff like that. But I called my buddy Dale over at Southern Paddling Guide. I said, hey, Dale, what's the river looking like? He said, it's flooded trip. You don't want to do it right now. I said, okay, fine. So I nixed that idea. Then I contacted some other friends of mine, the people who own Tiny Houseboat Adventures. And I was like, hey, I want to do a tiny houseboat adventure because I'd already talked to them about it previously. But their first opening is like in August. So it looks like in August I'll be going on a tiny houseboat. It's just these little houseboats. They're like, 16, 18 feet long. And you can rent them and actually take them out and drive them around on the St. Johns River with a bunch of springs and manatees and camp on them. How cool is that? So I'm really looking forward to that. But so since I couldn't do either of those ideas, my next kind of planned adventure was to go back down and get on the skiff. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go down and I'll show you guys what I'm planning. I'm going to head down to kind of where we left off last time. Last time on the last trip we did, where's it at? Hold up. Here we go. This was our loop last time, right? This red one here that you see blinking. That was our loop last time from Panama City to Destin. So this time we're going to go back down to Destin and we're going to launch the boat and we're going to cruise all the way over through all this cool stuff over to Orange Beach. You see I have this little loop here. If the weather permits, I might jump out into the Gulf and make this little run down to the Gulf like I wanted to do on my skiff. And also right out, right out here, there is a man-made snorkel reef that I'm really looking forward to trying to hit. And so if the weather cooperates, we're going to do that. And so this whole trip, like there and back, is about 128 miles. So it's not quite as long as the last one, but there is a section that I haven't done. Like I've never been between over here and here. So this is going to be an interesting, something new to see, but there's a lot of cool stuff in this area. Like you have this really cool old fort that you guys saw me go in a few years ago. You can actually go inside this fort underground. It's pretty cool. It's like an old military fort. And this is a really nice area. Then you also have Fort McCree over here, which I might go check out if time permits. And then you have a few different jetties and stuff around here, as well as right out here is a really cool one at Orange Beach. Right here, there's like a submerged wall here. This is where I swam with a sea turtle here last time I was here. So really looking forward to that. And that was like probably 3 years ago since I've been in this area. And in this area, they also have the Floribama, which I'm looking forward to visiting and getting myself a bushwhacker and hanging out with a bunch of good folks. So that is the proposed trip, and we are going to be, where am I at? Here we go. That's the proposed trip. And so basically, I'm going to be camping in the hammock one night, and then we're going to attempt to sleep a little more comfortably on the boat one night as well. And I have actually a little air mattress that should be coming in the mail sometime soon that I'm looking forward to checking out that will hopefully help me sleep better on the boat. So I'm really looking forward to that adventure. Hope you guys are too. And, surprisingly, I know this was kind of shocking to me, but of my recent trips, of like the trips adventures I've posted, the skiff adventures have been getting the most response, the most views, the most popular. Who would have thunk it? Because most people on my channel, they want, or it seems like, the voices ask for kayak trips and paddleboard trips, but something else is making the skiffs adventures blow up. So I'm really loving that because I do enjoy the skiffs. I do enjoy everything, but the skiff is kind of newer to me, and I'm kind of exploring things and going bigger and better stuff that I haven't been able to do in the past that I can do, which is one of the benefits of the skiff. I can do more in a shorter amount of time because I'm just a regular guy who, has a job, unfortunately. All right, so let's go into the first question here. The first question is from TFAR9. He says, Trip, would you ever make a bike packing video? Yes, I would make a bike packing video. So what is bike packing? It is basically you're backpacking, but you're on a bicycle. They have these packs and kind of gear organizers and stuff that you can fit onto a mountain bike, essentially. Maybe some people even maybe have a little trailer or different fancy stuff or saddlebags and stuff on their bike, and go do camping on that. Yeah, I would do that. I just don't have the bike. I don't have the equipment on the bike to store my gear. So I just haven't really had the opportunity. But if anyone did contact me and say, hey, Trip, hey, I've got a bike you can borrow to go to a backpacking trip if you want to, I'd say, okay, all right, yeah, I'll see what I can find, because there's probably some places I might could kind of slip into, if you know what I mean, that I would like to explore that that a bike would help me do. All right, some kind of off the beaten place, or off the beaten path, some places you may not are supposed to go, kind of like I've done in the past. I have some ideas out there. All right. So next question is from Nipster LLC Brands. Nipster says, "Is that water really safe to drink?" Now, what he's talking about, this particular one is when I went to Cypress Springs, a place I've been to many times. I have a few videos at this spot. It's so beautiful. But I go into the spring and I fill up a water bottle and I drink it. Now, I've done this at various places. I know that I've done it at Merrick's Mill Pond, at some of the spring heads, at Cypress Spring at the spring head. I have done it even when I'm paddling down the river and stuff, and I'll see some that's dripping out of moss, some water that's dripping out of moss or something along that line. I will not hesitate to fill up my water that way and drink that straight. Or if I'm backpacking and there's a stream or a little branch or a little brook or something that's coming, from the mountain in the park, where I know there's not farmland or agriculture or a bunch of cattle or something that this water may be running off of, I don't really hesitate to drink it if the water's moving decently. And especially, I'm going to drink out of a creek when it's colder outside. Before if it's not cold, I'll filter it. Why? I don't know. Just maybe that's just a mental thing. I think if it's cold, there's not as much bacteria. I don't know, I'm probably totally way off there, but anyways, drinking from the springs, I'm not worried about that, because really and truly, a lot of these places that I do go to, they're actually bottling the water that comes out of that. Now, do they purify it or whatnot before they bottle it? Maybe, maybe not, but I think it's pretty clean, and it's probably the most pure water that I'll ever be in contact with. That's just natural coming out of the earth. So I really love drinking it. I love the thought of drinking it. I love the taste of it, and I can just think of, remember when I drank it, and it's just, it just brings back those good memories of remember that time I was at the beautiful spring, the clear water that I love. So yes, I do drink that water. I'm not scared to drink it, and I've never, knock on something wood. Here we go. I have never gotten a stomach ache or gotten sick from drinking the water. So I'm really, I guess, fortunate there. Or maybe it's not so bad as people make it out to be. Who knows? I don't know. But a lot of people say, yeah, Trip, wait till the first time you get sick and you'll never do it again. Well, you're probably right. But until then, I'm going to keep rolling the dice because it's so simple and it's so good, right? All right, so that's kind of my answer for that. And, you guys know me. I'm not really by the book. I'm not really your average adventurer, I guess. I just kind of fly by the seat of my pants, and just if there's something I want to do, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to figure out how to get myself out of it if I do get myself into a pickle, right? And that's kind of what makes, I think that's what makes my adventures fun to me, and that's probably what makes the videos good, because, you never know what Trip's going to get into, and if that means that Trip's going to drink some of this water here and he's going to be sick when he still has many miles to go and just have a miserable time, well, that's probably going to make a great video, right? I mean, so it's probably going to be amazing to see, oh my gosh, Trip, I don't know, I can only imagine what that would be like. So, that may be part of the reasons why I do some of the silly stuff I do, is, you never know what's going to happen on video, but also I enjoy it. Really and truly, it's not just about the video, but I do enjoy it myself. You guys know I'm crazy and silly and stuff, so I think that's sort of self-explanatory. All right, so those are two great questions. Now we're going to get into the live chat here and see what the folks here are asking. I see some questions. Let's scroll back up to the top. Let's see, we got Kayak Adventures here. Eastrup, what's up? Jeff Garrett, we have Davis O'Brien, Evo Germain, Jeremy McClelland, Joey Foxhall, and some other good folks, Jason Valakers and Daniel Zito. You guys, thanks for being here. And some other folks. Didn't get to mention everyone's name, but those are the first few in the chat. All right, so first question here is from Kayak Adventures. He says, distance-wise, how many miles have you paddled in a day? I don't really know off the top of my head, but I do know the day when I did it. It was on actually the first trip I did when I was on the Choctawhatchee River. I was in my touring kayak, and the river was flowing like mad, and I was so excited to be on my first kayak camping trip. I was just paddling and paddling and paddling. I think it was the first day. Yeah, I want to say 35 miles maybe, or 28 miles. It was a big jump. I think I paddled like 83 miles maybe in that entire trip. And the last day I didn't paddle but like 6 or 8. So, wow, so that means probably 40 miles, something like that. So I'm probably pretty accurate on that. Really? That seems like a long ways. I don't know. I could be way off, but go back and watch the video. You can see. But really, I do also have a video about how many miles can you expect to paddle in a day. And because I get that question a lot, and there's a lot of variables that go into that, like the speed of the water you're paddling in, the current, what type of kayak you're paddling, and what your fitness level is, how many hours you're going to be paddling for. Is the wind in your face? Is the wind behind you? Is there any chop, any swell you're having to deal with? So there's a lot of stuff to think about when you try to calculate your miles. So you guys can type in Trip Smith paddling miles, and I'm sure it'll probably be the first video that pops up if you guys are interested in that. All right, let's see here. Hola desde Honduras. Oh, hello from Honduras. What's up, Evo? Good to see you from Honduras. I have actually been to a neighboring country there. Been to El Salvador 2 times. Pretty interesting trips there. All right, and I wasn't camping. No, I wasn't camping. All right, what's up, Joey? All right, let's see here. Here is a question, good question by SMK. What's next? He says, hi, Trip. I have an aluminum canoe. Is that okay for the river at Rockadock? Absolutely. That is fantastic. When I first started paddling and stuff, it was around this area and around the Rockadock area and on the Choctawhatchee River, which is one of the rivers that Rockadock sits on, the Rockadock venue and campground, because it actually sits on 2 rivers, right where 2 rivers can join, the Pea River and the Choctawhatchee. But growing up, I spent a lot of time, many summers, we would go down the Choctawhatchee River at a canoe livery on aluminum canoes. So yes, they do fantastic going down the rivers. The only place that I would be hesitant personally to bring a canoe would be like in a bay or the open water and stuff. And the main reason is because it would just be so much like a big sail, be so much windage, it would just catch wind and be hard to stay on track if you're paddling with the wind coming at you from the side or at your face. That's why I'm not really a canoeer very much. But yes, you would have a great time in a canoe. There was actually a canoe there last year, a single man in a canoe. It was pretty cool. Yeah, it was a smaller canoe. It was really, really interesting to see. I've never seen one of those in person, but yes, canoes do just fine. All right, here we go. Dennis Crabtree says, why not try a fishing yo-yo or fishing jug tied behind the kayak while on an adventure? Well, Dennis, I have some fishing yo-yos. I actually bought some of those probably 5 years ago, 4 years ago, something like that. And because someone suggested those, since I don't really like to fish, that much. And you know what? I think I tried to use one of them one time, and it didn't really work very well, so I haven't tried it since. But why don't I use it? I don't know. I just don't get a big thrill out of that. Now, I know people would enjoy watching that. I know the audience is so huge for kayak fishing, and if I did get into the kayak fishing or fishing realm in general, that I probably would get a larger audience. But it's just not something I'm very much into, so that's why. But hopefully, on this next adventure, I will get to catch some crabs, because I'm going to an area where I have been crabbing before on my kayak and caught some crabs and got to eat them. So I'm really looking forward to that. So yeah, totally, because I love crabs. All right, next question is from Jason Valakers. I hope I pronounced that right. Do you go on water trips with your wife and or kids? Yes, I do. I've been on one kayak camping trip with my wife. We went to a little spoil island down in Fort Walton Beach, one that I'll actually be passing by on this next adventure and might be camping at the exact same spot. A few years ago, actually before we got married, I believe it was, and she enjoyed it. I tried to film it, but I was not able to film enough to create a good story, to make a good enough video for you folks, because I was busy taking care of the wife. And I always remember this one comment she made. She said, "Well, this isn't quite like sandals like I thought it was going to be." So, needless to say, she hadn't been back on a water adventure, but we are planning some trips with the family, some camping trips that I can film and show to you guys in the future. I'm just kind of waiting for the right time. But yes, some of those are coming. But it's tough for me to film when I'm taking care of other people, or when I'm with people. Sometimes with other people. I don't know how to kind of put that, but sometimes I can go with some people and film just fine. But I don't know. It's kind of weird. Maybe I'm the weird one. All right, Four Wheel Jeeper. What's up, buddy? He says, wait a minute, I skipped it. Trip, best advice for a hammock camper during a storm. We had one the other day, and it blew on the sides, and I only had 2 trees to tie to. All right, let's see here. So best advice for during a storm. Well, I have been through a few storms in my hammock, in the tarp. Best advice I would have is to lower your hammock as low as you can, to the ground, where you're not getting splashed up on, but you're also not touching the ground, and then lower your tarp as low to the ground as you can, and lower the sides as low to the ground as you can, so that it doesn't catch as much wind. And also, make it as flat as possible. Versus as vertical as possible. You got to kind of find a happy medium there, because the more vertical it is, the more the side wind is going to blow on your walls, but the more flat it is, the lower it's going to be. So you kind of got to be careful with that. But essentially, you only had 2 trees to tie to. Are those only the trees that your hammock was attached to? Well, then did you have stakes that your tarp was tied down to? I don't know. Usually I carry, depending on where I'm going, most of the time I carry some larger, the yellow sand stakes you guys have seen, and those hold pretty well in the sandy and soft grounds that I'm mostly in, unless I go backpacking. But really, for tips, there aren't really any. Just get in there and hold on. Be sure that your tarp is large enough. Because if you have just like a square tarp, a lot of times those won't provide a whole bunch of coverage, like on the points and stuff. So mine is a cat cut tarp. It essentially has 6 corners, 6 points around it, kind of like a hexagon type shape, a little bit, but like an elongated hexagon. So that kind of helps a little bit to block more wind and rain, so you're not getting as wet. But really, just get in there, smile, and try not to think about the lightning striking you too much, because it's not going to make a difference. It's all going to make you worry more, and you have no control over the lightning, really. All right. Let's see here. Amanda Henderson says, have you been to Frank Jackson State Park in Opp, Alabama? No, I have not been to Frank Jackson State Park, but I was actually strongly considering, or that was one of the possibilities where we were going to host Rockadoc last year before we settled on Geneva. I think it's a pretty cool park. They have a big lake there, a nice campground from the photos and stuff that I can tell. But I have wanted to go there and kind of do some stealth camping, because there are some kind of sort-of-ish fingers of that lake, if I remember correctly. We could probably get in and do some stealth camping if you could just find somewhere to park, which you probably could park at the campground, I'm imagining. But no, I haven't ever been there, but I am very familiar with it, or I know of it. Booyah, Matt Cleland. Let's see here. Stephen Patterson said the kids camped in the backyard. I just skipped a bunch. Did a weekly backyard camp this summer. Cool. That's awesome. Hope they continue to do that this summer. All right, Four Wheel Jeeper with another question. That's cool, buddy. He said, it's me again, LOL. What's the one item you bring with you that you don't really need, but it's one worth bringing versus the weight? My speaker. That's an easy one. My speaker, and sometimes a guitar. Granted, I don't bring that big guitar. I bring my little one. Those are probably the things that I do not need at all, but I love music, so I will bring those things with me. Other than that, I don't really bring a lot of stuff that I don't really need. I mean, but I don't use everything that I bring. But some of the stuff could be a just in case thing, but I don't have many just in case items, unless it's like an emergency fire starter or some sort of medical kit. That's really the only things I bring that I don't really use. Sometimes I don't use my knife, stuff like that, but you kind of have to bring that stuff. But so I don't really bring a lot of extra stuff, especially when I'm on the paddleboard, because I like just everything to be low profile. Less gear is more when you're on that. But if I'm on the kayak, I might bring a little bit more because weight's not so much of an issue, and well, I guess it is, but storage and windage isn't as much of an issue. But when I'm on the skiff, I will tend to bring a little bit more of my comfort items, but I still don't bring that much. I'm kind of happy that I've kind of learned to bring less and less. All right, let's see here. Peter Weiss says, I want to bring some fishing equipment on my ISUP. How should I keep it on the board in order to access it easily? Got your answer for that one, Peter, because I have actually done some fishing off my paddleboard. All right, yeah, like I have 2 videos where I went fishing on my Kaku Kahuna. What I liked, Peter, is I have a cooler that I use as a seat when you're fishing, and it's a dry box cooler. It's from Engel, their dry box cooler. And I will use that as a storage compartment. Basically, it's just, I'm sitting on it, so I just raise up. You can unlatch it right there, open it up, grab whatever you need out of it, sit back down in it. And it also has 2 rod holders on the side, or you can actually, they come with 4, I think. So it's pretty cool, pretty nice to use. So that's what I do. I'll use that, and then also I have a small, or a kind of a flat, rectangular dry box that I will use. I got it from Home Depot. It's the Husky brand, and it's clear, and it just opens and closes with a lid, and I'll use that to put some of like my phone and sunblock and stuff in it. It'll just lay on the board in front of me, because most of the time stuff doesn't fall off of a paddleboard very easily at all, especially an inflatable, because usually everything's kind of grippy. So I'll just lay that up there, and everything just kind of goes in there. And other than that, there's not really much else that you really need. Your tackle can go either in your cooler or right behind you or right in front of you. A lot of times I'll just have stuff laid all over the board. Well, not a lot of times, but the 2 times that I've gone, I just have stuff laying over the board, and typically I don't really drop stuff, but if I do, which I did, I go in the pond and get it sometimes, which I got on video. Pretty cool. All right. Trying to view this thing at work isn't working. Oh, that's okay, 70 stroke. Hope you get to catch this when you get it at home, but thanks for trying at work. All right, what's up, Leanna Nene? Good to see you, girl. All right, Ernest Roundtree. Roundtree, I heard that in a funny name. That was Roy D. Mercer said Roundtree one time, someone's name. Anyways, Ernest says, I have to tell you that paddleboard trip you did with all the down trees, and you were dragging your board across the trees and jumping back on was impressive, super hardcore. Yes, that was a fun one. That was when I went down the Little Talkatahatchee River after the hurricane. Yes, there were a lot of trees down. It was a lot of work, but it was a lot of fun too. Really enjoyed that one. All right, next question. Another four-wheel Jeeper. He says, Trip, I think we all love your catch and cooks. What's my favorite one? My favorite catch and cook video? Probably the one where I went to Fort Walton and camped on the island by myself in my yellow kayak, because, yes, that was definitely my favorite one, because I was able to catch a good bit of craps. It was perfect weather, and the water in that sound there, which is where I'll be on my next trip, it was so clear, so beautiful. It was like you're in the Bahamas, but this place, I've never ever seen it that clear yet again. I'm hoping to get lucky next week, and if it's like that, I'm going to be ecstatic, and it's going to be so much fun, but it's probably not going to be quite that pretty, because it was just ridiculously clear, and I really enjoyed that trip because it had the clear water, had a good little island to camp on. I didn't have to paddle very far. There were a bunch of crabs around me everywhere. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that was my favorite one, and that's going to be, Kayak Camping Paradise, I think is what I named that video. Go back and watch it. Even if you've seen it, go back and watch it again. That was a great trip. I need to go watch that one. Okay, let's see here. My mom says, hey Mom, how are you? Let's see here. Joey Foxhall says, do you have a preference in hammocks, netted or no net, and the length? Do I have a preference? Not really, which I've never slept in a netted hammock. But in a couple days, it'll be my first time sleeping in a netted hammock because I have the Sierra Madre Ninox hammock. Is actually right behind you guys in the camera, hanging on the wall, because I can hang a hammock here in my office. It's totally awesome. And it has a net on it, so I'm probably going to enjoy doing that. But I have kind of tended to lean towards the no net hammock because sometimes I don't even need a net, and I can just be open to the sky and the stars. If it's not going to rain, if there's no bugs out, that's my favorite because I don't even need a tarp, and that is so awesome. So, but the Ninox, you could take the net off, but I don't know. I don't really have a preference, I guess. I don't know. I may really, really love the netted hammock after this trip. We'll see. If the bugs are bad, I'm going to really appreciate it. All right. Yes, I am the weird one, Pia, for sure. All right. Michael Kennedy says, do you still use the rhino skin bug clothes? No, I do not. Are they too hot for the summer? No, they're not actually. When I put them on, I kind of had this like cooling sensation for some reason. I don't know why. But I stopped wearing them because it didn't really work as I was led to believe before I purchased or before I requested that they send me them, which they were kind enough to do, because I was under the impression that I could wear just that thin layer of clothing of their rhino skin and get no bug bites, but that just was not the case. It actually said in some fine print, I think, once I received them, I believe, that said this is just the under layer of clothes and it works. It only works when you have another layer of clothes on top of it. Well, goodness gracious, if I wear 2 t-shirts, they ain't gonna bite me anyhow. So I stopped wearing them. But yeah, it's kind of weird. Actually, it's not weird. It's kind of normal, but it's kind of misled because on their website they had a picture of someone with just the clothes on and no clothes over it, doing an activity outside. So that led me to believe that that's how it works. But whatever. All right, Colin Rumpka says, I'm new to this whole kayak camping thing. Do you need to register or notify anyone other than friends and family that you're going or anything, or do you just pick a river and go? Well, if you're me, I just mostly just pick a river and go. I have never reserved a campsite or anything except the one time that I went down the Swanee River, but all that was done by Dale, the Southern Paddling Guide. He reserved my river camp, which are free camps, totally awesome. But other than that, no, I just kind of go. I get an idea of the river and the layout and kind of where I might be able to camp by looking at Google Earth before I go, and I just kind of go, and when I see somewhere to camp, that's where I'm camping most of the time. So, no, I don't really plan much. I just plan to go, and I make it happen. Let's see here. Now, Colin also says, are there spots on a river you're not allowed to camp? Yes, there are a lot of spots on the river you're not allowed to camp. Some rivers, they may be going through like a military base or something, and you probably shouldn't camp on that. I don't even think I would risk camping on that. But most of the time, the land surrounding rivers can be private property. Some of it now could be federally managed or like a state forest or something along that line where you can camp on it. But most of the time, you're technically not allowed to camp up there. But I camp carefully, just to put it lightly, and I'm very respectful of the land. If I ever do come across a landowner, I'd be extremely respectful to them as well, and I hope that they wouldn't be too mad at me, which I don't think they would, because just me, I'm just one guy, so they'd probably like, oh man, it's just one good old dude, he's just down here camping, versus like 4 people, it might be a little bit different. All right, so 4-Wheel Jeeper says, Trip, 3 clothing items you bring besides what you wore. In that's a must, and top 3 camping meals you can bring with you. All right, so top 3 clothing items I bring besides what I wore. I really, I don't know. Like, I'll usually bring an extra, like a pair of underwear and a pair of socks. If it's like a summertime trip and I'm not wearing that stuff. Do I wear the underwear most of the time? No, I don't. I usually just sleep in my bathing suit. And do I wear the socks? Only sometimes if I'm not in my sleeping bag liner and I want to keep the bugs off my feet, or if it gets cold. But other than that, I don't really bring, much. Sometimes I will bring a loose-fitting button-up shirt that will kind of be my bug shirt essentially, or my sun shirt, protect me from the bugs and the sun. But other than that, no, I don't really bring much. No. Clothes. or something I bring very little of, because I prefer just to wear none if I could, but you know how that is. All right. Oh yeah, there's a second part. Top 3 camping meals I can bring with me. All right. Let's see here. Of course, you guys know I love Packet Gourmet. I love those. They're totally awesome, and you can bring them with you for sure. I like them because you can, a lot of them, my favorite ones, you just add cool water to it. You don't have to boil the water, and it's ready in like 15 minutes, and it's delicious. So I really love those. Those are their lunch ones, like the Kickin' Chicken Hot Wings wrap and the Cajun Chicken Ranch and something else. So delicious. But I love those, and then I do like bringing a steak with me, and I like bringing sausage. You know, so meat. I love the meat. So that's what I like to bring. Now, if I could catch something, I love anything I could catch. Crab, fish, whatever. If I could catch some shrimp, that'd be cool. But, you know, I don't know. Meat. I like the meat. All right. Let's see here. Jacob Kopko says, just a quick question. Which do you like more, a sit-on-top kayak or a sit-in? Well, if you're asking me that question, you know, just for me personally, if I'm going to be using a sit-in kayak, all right, if I'm going to be using a kayak, it's going to be a sit-in kayak. Why? Because if there was an opportunity to use a sit-on-top kayak or a situation where I would rather have that than a sit-in, I would opt for the paddleboard. So I'm either going to go with a sit-in touring kayak because I want to cover some long distances. Maybe it's cold, you know, and I want to keep all my gear dry. Maybe it's going to be raining. I will take a long sit-in touring kayak that has dry hatches and is pretty quick, track straight. I will take that. But if I'm going on somewhere like, all right, when I would consider a sit-on-top kayak, a recreational kayak, most of the time, granted, they do have some kind of touring or surf ski, super long, sleek, fast sit-on-top kayaks. But you know, if I was considering a typical recreation or fishing kayak sit on top, I would just opt to take the paddleboard because it is so much easier to paddle. An inflatable paddleboard, they just track so much straighter, they're so much lighter, easier to deal with, more comfortable for me to be on. So it's rare you would see me on a sit-on-top kayak unless I was just borrowing one just to do a video for you folks, which is pretty much the only times you've ever seen me in one, right? Yeah. I've never owned a sit-on-top kayak, you know, since I've been making videos. When I was little, I had one, but you know, other than that. Oh, let's see here. Last one. Should we use Dr. Bronner's as a toothpaste? No, you shouldn't. That was on the Pea River trip when I used this minty soap as a toothpaste, the Dr. Bronner's, because I thought it could be used for everything. I was wrong. All right, you guys should go back and watch that if you haven't seen that. It's on the Pea River video. Probably one of the funniest moments in my YouTube making career. It was hilarious because I just start brushing my teeth and I'm like, oh yeah, this is good and minty. Then it just starts bubbling and fizzing. It's just like soap in my mouth. I'm like, oh gosh, this is horrible. But it was very funny. I loved it in a way. Oh, let's see here. Bama Outdoors says, I guess that's why I like a kayak. I always have my fishing gear. Yeah, maybe so. But you can fit a lot of fishing gear on a inflatable paddleboard too, though, really. Papa Juan says, what's my favorite trip I've done? Probably when I went and took my sailboat to the Florida Keys. That was probably it. You guys probably, a lot of y'all haven't seen that video because that's one of my, that was before I was even kayak camping. I had a 17-foot sailboat. I trailered it down to the Florida Keys, and I went from the middle of the Florida Keys to Key West and back over the course of like 7 days, all by myself. It was so much fun. That was a very epic trip. So that's probably my favorite one. Let's see here. Four Wheel Jeeper says, Trip, I think we can all here agree. Thank you for what you do, your personal life and YouTube. Well, you're welcome. I can't based on your first video where you had your dad dropped off. Yes. Yep. You're very welcome, Four Wheel Jeeper. Wayne Cousins, what's up? Yeah, I'm well. Hope you're well too. Let's see here. Matt Cleland says, Trip, what type of packet gourmet meal would you recommend for a first-time kayak camping kiddo? If I was to get one for my kids, which one would I get? I don't know. I'd probably have to go and look at them because they probably have some more, tasty and hearty options that I wouldn't consider for myself personally because of my dietary preferences. So, but I'm not really familiar with their other stuff. other than what I eat. So I don't know. I just have to. What I would do, I would take my kid and he'd be sitting here on my lap, and we'd get on the website and we'd be like, okay, this one has this, or this one, or this one, or this one. And they'd be like, ooh, I like that one. Yes, I really want to try that one. Or if they're hesitant, I'd say, all right, well, let's look at the desserts first. And do you want Mom's banana pudding, or do you want the pumpkin cheesecake, whatever they have? Which of these desserts do you want? And then go pick their meal. Let them pick that. Get their hesitant. So that's what I would do. Kind of bribe them, because their desserts are delicious. So good, so good. Let's see here. JC Vlog says, how do you go down rapids on a paddleboard? Well, very carefully, but really it takes a little bit of skill, probably more than me. I wouldn't say that I'm very skilled going down rapids on a paddleboard, because I haven't really done it a lot. But all right, let's give a couple examples. Let's say you're just going down some little shoals, just mainly ripples. You don't know how deep the water is. Typically, what I would suggest people do is to drop to their knees if you can't see the bottom, because you don't know if if your fin is about to hit the bottom and your board's going to slow down very quickly, and you're going to be thrown onto the front or thrown off the board. So you can go to your knees, but if you're in some bigger water where it's pretty deep, you can stand up. And the best way to stand up is, typically when you're on flat water, you have your feet, side by side, right beside each other as you're paddling straight across flat water. Well, if you go into something with a little more, wave action there, you want to stagger your feet a little bit, because now you have stability left and right from tilting forward, or from falling sideways, but you also need that stability as the board rocks frontward and backwards. So if you would place your feet just like this and be ready to brace with your paddle, as in, if you feel yourself falling, push in the water with the paddle to keep yourself up. Those are the best suggestions I have. And there are a lot of people who can do amazing things on paddle boards in rapids. I've seen them go down waterfalls and still stand up on a paddle board. You talk about sick. That's awesome. I wish I could do that. I wish I could get the opportunity to do that one day. Maybe I will. All right, next question. Wow, we have a lot today. How awesome. Thank you all for being here. Next one is from Colin Rumpka. Says, how would you recommend getting into kayak / paddleboard camping? Well, I would start with baby steps. First, of course, the steps. I don't know if you already have a kayak, but let's assume you already have a kayak, and you have the gear. Where do you start as far as where to go? Typically I would say start small. Start with a simple trip that you can do. Whether that be, find a lake. That'd be the easiest thing. Find a lake and just find a patch of woods. Generally there's a park and stuff around a lake with just like some, like a management area or some sort of state park or something with just a bunch of woods. Go and find somewhere on the shore and camp right there. Paddle a mile and camp. Right? And then paddle back to your vehicle. That's a very simple kayaking trip that anyone can do. And then if you have a river, hey, pick a short stretch. Don't have a 10-mile day or a 15-mile day. Keep it, a 5-mile day and camp, and a 5-mile day to finish out, so that you have time to get to camp without, you don't know what you're going to run into, because you've never been in this position before. You don't know what kind of delays you may have. So pick something simple. Give yourself plenty of time at camp to set up camp, to break down camp, to enjoy camp, because you want your first experience to be an easy one, a good one that that you can enjoy, so that you will go back. So just start with something simple. That would be my best suggestion, right? All right, let's see here. Gary Purvis, he says, I'm a monster of a man. I think a sit-on-top kayak is my only option. Maybe it is, Gary, and yes, you are a monster of a man. Wow, Trey Howe. Sweet. You just thank you for the $5 super chat. How awesome are you? Trey says, here's your Rockadoc. Tickets on sale yet, he asked. Yes, tickets are on sale for patrons right now, Trey, and they will open up this Sunday at 5 p.m. Central for the masses, for all attendees. But don't worry about running out of anything, Trey. If you're looking at getting a registration for individuals, that's certainly going to be still available for sure. The camping spots right now, there will always be 6 left of the RV1 and the RV2 and 3 spots. So we're only selling half of things, giving the patrons an option to buy that. So everything will still be available if you act quickly. But if you're just looking to register as an individual, Sunday or any time after that, you should be fine to get a registration. So thanks for that. Appreciate the super chat. You're cool, dude. All right, let's see here. Glenda says, a husband and I really like the convenience of the O-Meal self-heating meals since you don't have to boil water. Glenda, you're right. Those are extremely convenient. I actually have about 4 of those that I got at iCast from their booth. The owner gave them to me, and I haven't used any. And I haven't brought them into the channel. I haven't shown them to you folks. Why is that? Well, because I just don't think that they're a great value. Especially compared to a Packet Gourmet meal. Now, why is that? Well, if you look at the calories on them, what is it, like 250 calories to maybe 350 calories in one of those, sometimes less, and you're paying $9. Can't remember exactly how much they are, but let's just say, they're about the same as a Packet Gourmet meal, the delicious ones that I love so much, right? You may get, I can't remember, but you probably get 3 or 4 times the amount of calories in a Packet Gourmet meal versus a O-Meal. So in short, if I was eating O-Meals, I would have to buy 4 of them to have enough food for me to eat. So, I eat a lot of food, so that's just not practical for me, and so I'm not going to suggest to you folks something that I do not use myself and that I do not believe in. So that's why I don't do the O-Meals. But hey, I'm glad that you guys enjoy them. Now, I have wanted to bring one simply for the fact that I could catch a fish and fillet the fish, put it in the bag, and then mix the water with their chemicals that makes this a lot of heat and will actually steam the fish. I haven't done that yet because I haven't caught fish, but you know how it is. But anyways, let's see. Colin says, when are you going to take the kids on a trip? Well, my oldest son and I, we have been planning a trip. The last one we had planned, it got nixed because of the cold weather and things like that and a lot of wind. So we need to replan one, but this summer for sure we're going to be doing one, and you guys are going to see the video on it. Simon Hayward says, hey, hello Trip, what selfie stick do I use? Well, I would show you, but my camera here is mounted on my selfie stick, but it is a Smatree, S-M-A-T-R-E-E, telescoping tripod. They're on Amazon. I think they're like $14 or something. They're totally cool because the bottom flares open like a tripod. Here. This is a larger version of it. This one's much more expensive, but essentially it's a tripod on the bottom. I've never really used this one much. I was supposed to be taking this to outdoor retailer, but essentially these will fold down, and then this part is telescopic. So you essentially have a selfie stick and a tripod all in one. So this is just a really expensive, really nice version to hold a lot better camera and to go up to head height. But the Smatree is the one that I would suggest for you folks. It really works great. I bought 2 because I broke one time. Long story that got omitted from a video, but yeah, I think they're fantastic tripods. They're aluminum and stuff, so I haven't had any issues with rust or salt and stuff like that. So they're really great. Let's see here. Full Wheel Jeeper says best inflatable under $500. Best inflatable under $500. That's definitely going to be the iRocker Nautical. All right, there might even be a link in the description of this video for it, Full Wheel Jeeper. But yeah, that one I think is like $350. And if you want to bump it up from there, you go to their All Around, the iRocker All Around. I think that is going to be the next best one because all those boards are just they're made the right way, and they're made by a company that you can get in contact with if you ever have any issues like lost pieces or something, or warranty issues. That's actually an American company who I have spoken to myself. All right, so that's what I would suggest. Yep, cheers, thumbs up, Simon. Let's see here. Colby Outdoor Adventures he says, have you thought about doing another crooked beach camping trip and sleeping on a blow-up mattress in the water? Did you ask that comment? I haven't answered your comment yet. But yes, I have thought about going back out there, and I haven't yet. Why haven't I gone? Well, because there's a few other trips I wanted to do first, and I was probably going to do that maybe on the skiff or the paddleboard. I'm not really sure, but I think before I went to that particular spot, I'm going to be going to Cape Sandblast when scalping season opens up and stuff like that. So yeah, I just haven't thought about it. But why am I going to bring a blow-up mattress when my paddleboard essentially is a blow-up mattress? That was kind of how I was going to answer your comment, because yeah, sure, I could have a blow-up mattress separate from the paddleboard, but why when I already have one, right? All right, folks. I think that's going to be good. How long have we been rolling here? I wish I could see it. I can't see it anywhere. We've been rolling for a while. I have a feeling. So, folks, take care of yourselves. 50 minutes? Yeah, 50 minutes. Awesome. Thank y'all for being here. I might go live tomorrow and show you guys how I pack the skiff as I get ready for the next trip, which is in 2 days. Really excited, looking forward to that. And I hope you guys can catch me live on that trip and look forward to seeing that adventure. All right, folks, take care of yourselves. God bless. And I will see y'all in the next whatever we decide to do together. Maybe I'll see you at Rock-A-Dock. All right, see ya.